Hello, I'm Dr. Trevor Price and thanks for tuning in. This video is all about effective ways of researching. Research enables you to find information that you need, and it enables you to find answers to questions that perhaps your tutor, your professor, your teacher has set you for your task. It also enables you to create an outline for your work that you need to submit as part of your course. And of course, it enables you to become more knowledgeable in the subject that you're researching. And this is what every student wants to do, of course. So the first thing to do is think about your time and the resources you have available to you and start a plan for that. I've covered how to effectively plan your academic work in another video, so I'll put a link to that now, so take a look at that. But basically, a plan will enable you to see how much time and resources you have and what needs to be done in which sequence it needs to be done. Also, you'll probably be given a research question. If you haven't, then you need to work with your academic supervisor or your tutors or your professors and work on the research question that you're going to be finding an answer to in your written assignment, in your report, in your essay, or perhaps in your presentation that you've been asked to give. Normally, for an assignment, for a piece of coursework, be it a report or an essay, you will be given a research question that you need to find an answer to, or a host of answers to. So start with that research question, start with your research plan, and those two things will help you start off your researching in a very effective way, because you'll know how much time and what are the resources you have available to you, and you'll know what the question is you're seeking an answer to. So then start very wide in the actual research process that you're doing. Start with a very broad topic area and try and focus down more and more like a funnel onto the specific niche area that is focused upon your research question. Always go back to the research question and think, am I actually providing an answer or part of an answer to this question to help me write my paper later? This sort of approach of funneling and getting narrower gives you a good way to get orientated around that subject. It helps you gain a basic overview of the key dates, the key people involved, the key points and principles, the key theories that you need to grapple with and start to understand if you're going to answer the research question effectively. You may need to double check with your academic supervisor, your tutor, your professor, your lecturer, if you're going on the right topic area, going in the right direction. It's always good at this stage to just do that double checking, just to make sure you don't waste your time later on. The second stage in the effective research process is to learn to recognize a good quality source of information. This is really important to do because when you're doing your search on the internet, you'll find you'll get back lots of information from your search requests, and some of those might be what we hear commonly called as fake news. Perhaps unsubstantiated comments made by people who really don't understand what they're talking about. For an academic environment, you really need to make a critical judgment and evaluate what you are using as the source of information for your written work. You have to think, is the source reliable? Is it academically robust? Is the author an expert? Is the author part of a team of experts who are knowledgeable in this area? Are the authors of the papers and articles that you're reading, or the YouTube or the videos that you're listening to, giving you an opinion, or are they based on scientific facts? So again, I say you need to be critical of what you're reading. This is fundamentally important. And I've got another film that looks into that and helps you with how to critically evaluate your sources of information. The third step is to verify the information that you have from different sources. If 2 or 3 different authors are talking about the same thing and they generally agree on that topic, you stand a better chance of having available to you good quality information that is reliable and that will give you good knowledge and information in your paper. So you think about and ask yourself, do different authors agree on this topic, or do they have opposing views? Can you then verify the information that you've got? You have to be very careful with data, and especially statistical data that you're using, because statistical data and data generally can be manipulated by the author of that data and presented in a way to skew or bias the results. But to counteract that, if you've got verifiable data from different sources that basically agree with each other, then I think that's as much as a student can do for a written assignment. The fourth step in being an effective researcher is to be open to different points of view. Now, bearing about what I said in the third step about verifying your data sources and information sources, but equally, students, when you're doing research, you need to be open to different points of view from different people and not be blinkered. Doing research isn't just a way of verifying the knowledge that you already have. Doing research is for you to better understand the topic area, but also feed your own knowledge with different opinions, different viewpoints, and different thoughts and theories in that niche area. So don't just verify what you know already, be open to different points of view on that subject area, especially if those different points of view are coming from expert sources that are reliable. The fifth point in doing effective research is to stay organized. You'll need to refer to the sources of information that you've collected and you want to build upon in your own paper or your own presentation later. And so you need a system, a process to ensure that firstly you don't lose that key information that you've spent a lot of time and energy collecting, but also that you don't lose it and that you're able to refer to it in your paper. I've got another video about a literature review and how to reference your sources of information, so that will help you on how to do that. But in your paper, in your work, you need to cite and refer back to all the information published by other people that isn't your own. So there are several ways of keeping organized. You can use website bookmarks, for example, your internet browser. I use Google Chrome or Firefox or Explorer. They have a bookmark system whereby you come across a useful website or article on the web, and you can bookmark it in categories that you can refer back to later. You can use old-fashioned sort of index cards, literally pieces of card whereby you write that information down. That might be a bit time-consuming because when you come to write your work, it's going to be in an electronic form. So I would much prefer, just to save my time, to use an electronic sort of database to build up. And that could simply be a spreadsheet. It could be a word processed table. But in word processors these days, there are built-in referencing and citation systems that help you build up the database of the sources of information that you've used, and then they will help you automatically put your citations in your paper as you write it and provide a list of references very easily at the end of your work. So I would strongly recommend, if you don't do that already, to invest some time and learn how to do that in the word processor that you use. So basically you're keeping an annotated bibliography of information that you've found at that stage you think is useful. You're keeping the full reference, full details of where it is, where other people can find it, and the exact page number or pages of the information that you have used. And that bibliography, which is basically the list of information sources that you think might be useful but you haven't used yet, you need to keep updated as you find more and more useful information sources. And that will really save you a lot of time when you write your paper and you think, oh, I want to use these references in my paper. I need to put the full reference in them, so you can go back to your annotated bibliography and see which are the most useful information sources to use. The sixth step in effective researching is to use all the resources available to you, and don't forget the university library that part of your course fee is enabling you to access. In the library, it's not just the physical building, of course. There are electronic databases that you can use, and those databases are usually specialized in different subject areas. So make sure that you fully understand the width and depth of those electronic databases, and which one of them, or which numbers of those electronic databases will actually be the most beneficial for your subject area. To help you with that, ask your librarian. There might be a specialist subject librarian for your subject area in the university library that can help you with that. The librarian might also have produced subject guides, which are a collection of information sources categorized by different subjects. So whether you're studying history, science, medicine, engineering, art, whatever it is, those subject librarians can help point you towards those subject specialist guides. Then, of course, you have to write your paper. Well, you do several drafts of that, and I've got another video that helps you how to write your assignment. And whilst you write your paper, of course, you'll be citing all the sources that you are using, all that information that you've used that is published by other people and you want to use as the foundation for your work. We're not quite at the end yet, because once you've completed your first or second draft of your paper, you need to proofread it. I would suggest at least 2 or 3 times, just to make sure you iron out all the typographical, the spelling and the grammatical errors, and any of the more serious sort of theoretical errors that might be present. Get somebody else, a fresh pair of eyes, to look through it as well. It doesn't matter if they don't know the subject that you've written about, they can spot any spelling and typographical errors that you might have put in there. And the most important thing, I think, is don't forget to submit your work on time, in the correct format and through the correct system that your university professor has asked you to do. Because if you don't submit in time, then your marks will be probably 0, because you will have missed that deadline. And then that wastes all the work that you've previously done in your research. So hopefully that's given you some ideas, that's given you some help. If you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up below. Ask me any comments, any questions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I've got many other videos already there and new ones coming up, so please do subscribe. Thanks very much. Bye for now.